Field practices, sampling design and census of marine communities. Sampling methods. Destructive methods. Airlift. An airlift sampler is a scuba diver operated device, generally used to collect vegetal fauna, associated to seaweeds or seagrasses. A metal or PVC frame can be used to delimit a sampling area and to obtain quantitative data. This technique is generally applied to more or less horizontal hard or soft substrates, however, it could even be used on vertical hard substrates. It is very easy to set up a simple airlift apparatus. It would consist in a diving gear, and an airlift sampler. The diving gear includes a tank filled with air, a first stage with a gauge, and a low pressure hose. The main component of the airlift sampler is a pipe. To connect the tank to the pipe, you could use a compressor kit including a hose, a gun, eventual connectors and cable ties. A braided hose will be useful to pump air into the pipe. To mount your sampler, connect basal extremities of the gun to the braided hose end. The rest of this hose has to pass inside the pipe. Then, fix the gun to the pipe using cable ties. Connect the other extremities of the gun to the diving gear through the spiral hose. The diving gear can be directly connected underwater, through a quick connect coupling, between the low pressure hose and the spiral hose. Your airlift system is done and ready to use. To collect benthic organisms, spare nets could be fixed to the pipe. To collect macrofauna is generally used a 500 micron mesh net. Otherwise, nylon socks could be fixed with a rubber band, to the proximal extremity of the pipe. To standardize the sampling area on the substrate, you could use a frame. How does the airlift sampler work? Mechanism of function of an airlift sampler is related to pressure variation and cohesion between water molecules. When air is pumped inside the pipe, gas mixes with water. The gas will ascend through the pipe, causing a negative pressure in the lower portion of the pipe. This will produce a vacuum effect, and the vegetal organisms are collecting by the sampler. Before going to collect samples underwater, plan your sampling activity and your dive. Prepare a bag net, containing socks, Ziploc bags and rubber bands. Consider to bring with you extra socks and bands in case you lose them. You could use socks of different colors, one for each depth. Use a sock for each replicate, then, put replicates in separate Ziploc bags after collecting samples. Before diving, define roles of each scientific scuba operator. Since the two main components of the airlift apparatus can be separated, each operator could transport a part of the system. Here, you can see a short video taken during sampling activities. In these clips, the two scientific scuba operators are fixing a sock with a rubber band. Put the free end of the sock inside the pipe to facilitate fixing. Try to place the sampler perpendicular to substrate. Maintain a slightly negative buoyancy when you are using air, since the pumped air could push you upwards. While one operator is collecting samples, the other one should check his gauge to verify air consume. After sample collection, remove the sock and retrieve the rubber band. Tie the sock before introducing it into a Ziploc bag. When you take organisms living associated to seaweeds or seagrasses, you likely collect fragments of plants. After sampling, remove non-target species after rinsing them with seawater. Be sure not to lose organisms attached to plant fragments. Then, samples should be observed and identified at lowest taxonomic level.